We used to look up in the sky and wonder of our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt. We must confront the reality that nothing in our solar system can help us.
Murph, you have to talk to me, Murph. I gotta set things right before I go.
You don't know when you're coming back.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
I'm coming back.
When?
I love you forever.
I saw that film Interstellar.
Yes,
Interstellar.
I'm from... I am. I quite like a glass of Stella. I'm quite into it at the moment, yeah. But let's get back on to
You're Interstellar.
I am.
But by the way, this does contain some spoilers.
Should we
so
put that
if you haven't...
before or after?
After, probably. Because otherwise I won't know what the spoilers are, so it won't make sense when I say there's spoilers.
Good point.
So yeah, if you don't want the film ruined, then
To be fair,
then don't go see it, and then you'll be fine.
SARS, what a lad.
SARS.
TARS even. TARS and Case.
SARS is a great
TARS
one.
and Case. And then Matt Damon
SARS and
making
Cake.
a random appearance.
Yeah.
Waking up, I'm Matt Damon.
It's like, yeah.
I'm an a-hole.
Yeah, it's like they wake him up. It's like, who is it? It's Matt Damon.
Damon.
Oh, what a twist!
Oh,
that was such a
what
great
a twist.
That's such a great twist they put in at the end, where it was actually Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Did
Wait, what?
Did not see that coming.
No, it was Dr. He wasn't playing himself. What are you talking about?
But you weren't expecting it to be. They were talking about Dr.
No.
Man all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
You
no.
weren't expecting
They didn't
it to
say
actually.
Matt Damon, yeah.
They weren't expecting him to actually be Matt Damon.
You're right.
It was such a clever twist they put in there. I think.
Not sure. Follow you.
I mean, I don't get why they had to go around the black hole, because they didn't have enough.
Right at the end.
Yeah, they didn't have enough fuel to get to this other planet.
They were going to use the gravitational...
So instead they burned all their fuel going around this black hole.
No, they didn't. They were floating towards it already. You're talking about right at the end.
Oh, so they're already going towards the black hole.
He said, oh, for my next trick, and they kind of laughed,
Yeah.
and then he goes, well, it's going to have to be a good one, we're heading straight for the black hole.
Right,
And he goes, right, and he goes, we haven't got enough fuel, what we can do is, I'll steer the ship towards it, we'll take a slingshot around it, but we'll lose a bunch of stuff off the ship as we go past it, so to make some sort of Newton's theory, and then they're going to use the last bit of fuel to break out of its gravitational pull to get.
Okay. It might make sense in a certain circumstance.
I mean, to be fair, like
they could have.
No one really. Black holes are like we don't know much about them anyway, so it's like you can sort of make up what you want really.
Yeah.
Until someone gets there.
I thought, but then when he breaks off, when he like ejects, yeah, and then he suddenly appears in like.
Yeah, that was obviously them making up. Well, he's in the black hole and he's kind of in the middle.
No,
of the
but
black
it was like people from the future were allowing him to see through time in 3 dimensions.
No, it was more than 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were allowing him to see it in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
But then, so people from the future made some kind of wormhole or something.
Yes.
That took him through there.
Yeah.
But it was just like
basically
they didn't really explain it. They just said, okay, well, some people in the future did it.
Well, yeah.
Like, we don't understand it, but people in the future will understand it, so it's fine. But it doesn't actually really make any sense.
The people in the future have somehow managed... Well, basically, it's one of those weird things where it's like... Him doing that saved the human race.
Yeah.
And because he's done that, and because that robot saw it, they have the information about how gravity can be manipulated. So then they can create that for his past self to then...
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things where it's like, it's already happened.
Yeah. And it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it's a complete loop. I've never got those. There's never an ending.
It's like you go back in time and you like give yourself like a time travel device, and then
or the information to build a time travel device,
exactly.
and then it happens.
And it's like, where did that information actually come from to begin with?
It's just a loop.
It just did a loop. It just generated itself out of nowhere.
You always get feels like that. I kind of love that though, because I don't quite understand how that. It is a theory.
Yeah. Well, I actually prefer the time travel stuff where it's already happened in the past. I don't like it when they go back and they change stuff. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
work
like it
for
where
me.
it's like they
I like
go
it when
back
it's
and they
actually,
realise that man when they were 8 was actually them.
Yeah.
And he gave them
Yeah.
something. That's actually cooler than you going back and doing it and not changing the future.
Like in Interstellar, I was pretty sure he was gonna go back in time somehow and move.
Yeah.
From the beginning, I was like, okay, that it's probably gonna be some kind of time travel thing or.
I didn't actually know. I was so like kind of quite sort of caught in the film. I wasn't trying to guess the plot.
Yeah.
I try not to ruin it for myself.
Maybe I'm just used to like sci-fi films.
Yeah,
I
it might
just
be,
saw that.
yeah.
I just like okay, well, it's probably.
As sci-fi
Imagine.
films go,
It was actually I thought it was very good.
it was more in a weird way down to earth sci-fi film.
I thought it was quite cool. They did well with the like showing them like going into the wormhole and stuff.
Oh yeah, it was cool.
It looked quite cool. I think that was reasonably realistic.
Yeah.
As how we expect. It seems like they had some physicists behind the scenes who they were like talking to about it. You know who.
I like the idea that
Makes
instead
sense.
of a sci-fi film just being like, oh, we're going to follow these guys through random planets, it's no, there's a real situation on Earth which is very close to. It's not too hard to believe.
Yeah.
A future where there's no more wars because everyone's too worried about trying to grow food. The planet's dying, and it's like they're not out there trying to like search for new species and new place. They're like literally we need to find somewhere else to live.
Yeah. Which is cool. And I thought the whole time skip thing was cool.
Yes.
Actually. They went onto the planet for a while.
That was
and
cool because
then-
of the wormholes. Like the time was.
So then when they came back,
the guy had been there for 29. Oh, spoilers.
and his daughter was like, his age.
Oh.
I was like, that was clever. I like that. I like that as a concept. I don't know if. Well, I guess no.
It's relativity.
They worked it. Yeah, no, it makes sense. But
It could only
I was
happen.
thinking maybe they could have done more with that, but no, they made it reasonably. It was a good idea anyway. It was cool.
It was cool.
I like that.
And you know what I liked? In space, it was quiet. Unlike some films where it's
What
like
films
like
do you think
Star Wars and Star Wars. Like,
There's all this stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear anything. Yeah. that was good.
We got that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually like they were just,
Like we said-
when something blew up, it was like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
It was
sick.
realistic.
It like made you
realistic.
immersed. But the
I
music,
liked that.
music was loud. When they were doing stuff and the music was like, ba-da, ba-da, and I was like, oh, it's getting on. And then when the music stopped, you're like, oh my goodness, I can actually hear myself. Like, I just remember
You really notice it when
the music was very loud.
You can hardly hear what he's saying because he's like muttering under his breath.
We used to. We used to look up at this. Like, what? Need subtitles of this film.
I think it was cool. It was actually that planet with the big waves.
Oh,
Because I was like, that makes sense.
that's no mountain.
Because yeah, exactly.
That's a wave.
They made them look like mountains
And
as
they were,
well.
like, touching the
but then when they
clouds.
come close, you're like, oh, they're actually waves. I was like, it makes sense because they're going around a black hole, so obviously like makes like massive tides.
Kind of like the moon. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, that makes sense. It was
like
logical.
it. I like
It
it.
made sense. It was good.
And unlike most films, the black guy didn't die first.
No.
It was the weird guy.
he just
it was the
greatly
Hunger
aged.
Games game maker who died first. Oh, he's thinking now. The cogs are working in his head. He's thinking, oh, what's this? Do you remember the first Hunger Games? The guy with the weird beard, who
guy
at
with
the
the
end
weird
had to eat
beard.
the berries because he
President
failed.
Snow.
No, not the snowman.
Snowman.
Snowman. New Batman villain
Love
from
it.
the new.
Do you want to move up a bit? I think I've realised you're a bit
Moving out of
off
shot.
centre. You're a bit off centre.
Yeah, do you remember the guy who ate
It's
the
the
berries?
gravity, man.
You know the guy who ate the berries? The berries.
The guy who ate Berity.
Do you remember the first Hunger Games, the game maker, the guy with the beard? He was the first
Yes.
scientist who died. Do you
Right.
remember? Are you picturing him?
Was that him?
Yeah, it was the same actor. He looked just like him.
Right.
And then the black guy died second. Yes. Out of the crew, he died second. He blew. Dr. Man's robot blew him up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He did die, didn't he? Yeah,
Got blown up.
But he lived a full life, really.
Well, yeah, he spent 29 years
Yeah,
on
exactly.
his shit.
Right. So
Doing
he
nothing.
actually lived the longest.
Observing black holes.
If you think about it.
Yeah, but what life? He cryo-slept for most of it.
No, he didn't.
He said I cryo-slept twice, but then it got to the point where...
Exactly. He said he didn't want to sleep his life away. So most of the time he was actually...
But I think he
No.
did sleep for most of it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Right, I got the impression... Because he had
He's
like
still
grey hairs and shit.
you still
didn't he?
age in cryo-sleep.
Yeah, that's true. But
Just your body doesn't deteriorate.
I remembered him saying that he didn't... He didn't sleep much. They haven't been in sleep
I
a
don't-
lot for a lot of
They
time.
said, "Why didn't you cry?" And he said, "I did a few times, but
Yeah.
then after 20 years or whatever, I just thought you weren't coming back." So I don't know how many years he actually spent.
Yeah, we don't know how many. Okay, well, we don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But
I don't know.
Anyway,
We're fine.
did they explain where all that like dust came from? Did I miss that?
No, they
I don't
didn't.
think I was kind of expecting them to explain that somehow.
Thing is, what
I was
liked,
I was half expecting, with the kind of time going back in time thing. I was half expecting him to somehow cause the whole issue in the first place.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, but
No.
but they didn't really explain it, which kind of was kind
I
of
guess-
disappointing. I guess it
well-
wasn't really important. To
No.
be fair, but I was kind of expecting it to be.
In a way, it's not. It's kind of, because they've dealt with it for so long. It would be unnatural if one of them was just randomly going to explain it, because they all know.
But-
they've been there for years.
But they had the clips of
The old people talking
people,
about it, yeah.
which is when they had it. As
I mean,
like
to be
a-
fair, they did say then suddenly this dust, this earth that was giving you food was then working against you.
Yeah.
And it could just be that as more things died, more plants died, there's less plants holding the ground together. Because essentially, like, you know, the only reason, when you pick up earth as it is, earth just
Yeah.
like sand, it goes everywhere. But as soon as you stick grass on it or plants, all the roots and all the stuff hold it together.
Right.
As soon as the life starts dying, there's nothing holding these inorganic
So there's just lots
compounds.
of like loose dirt.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe with high winds as well.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
We don't
I guess
we
it's
don't know
open
what
to
the-
interpretation. I
Yeah,
guess.
we don't know what the water situation was like on this planet. Maybe the seas are running very low, it's leaving more
Maybe
sand and dirt.
Yeah, maybe it's better they left it vague. It's open to interpretation.
Aye,
You know,
it is.
just think,
That was a good inside of you.
Mm.
I like that.
yeah, that was inside of you.